Hi my friends, this is John the Viking investor. I wanted to show you all my little investment project, my whiskey barrel bar. This project was a project to increase cash flow. When you're doing an investment project on a property or trying to improve a property, there's a couple things that you want to take into consideration. So one is cash flow. Cash flow to me is probably the most important. Second, and also very important, is equity. So cash flow and equity. This project was one to increase cash flow. The space that I put this in, and later I'll kind of show you how I built it and how I designed it. But the space that I put this in was very bland. There was nothing going on in this corner. It really wasn't a nice space. So I designed this and put it in and rented out the space to a friend of mine. And that obviously increased the cash flow. So the things to consider on a project are sometimes a project might increase equity or it might not increase equity. And sometimes a project will increase cash flow or it might not increase cash flow, or it might increase both. So with a basement bar, for example, it might not increase the actual appraisal of your house. You could install something like this and your house would appraise for the exact same as it would before you installed something like this. So, but if you were selling your house, for example, having this to the right buyer might be the difference maker of whether they want to purchase the house or not, but it might not increase the market value of the home. However, in this particular situation, it did increase cash flow for me, but if it was just for my own personal effect, it wouldn't have increased cash flow either. So in that case, it wouldn't really be an investment project. So a lot of whether a project is an investment project has to do with how you implement it. So for example, building this and then renting out the space, okay, well that's implementing it in a way where you will get cash flow from that project. So I'd like to show you how I built it and designed it. So the whiskey barrel here is an oak whiskey barrel. I bought it from a bar here in town and I scorched it. I took a butane torch and spent a while just burning the wood with the butane torch. Then we drilled into the top and cut a hole in the side in order to put the vessel sink and put the plumbing through it. And then I had my plumber run, so on the other side of this wall is the bathroom. So I had my plumber run the drain lines and the water lines to tie into the existing wet wall here. And then also obviously scorched the pine and put a 1x6 across the top for a half wall top. And then put these boxes up to complement. For the bar itself, installed a mini fridge, obviously. Built the bar itself out of 2x4 framework, anchored into the concrete, drilled into the concrete and anchored. It was lined with some extra hardwood oak flooring that I scorched also that I had laying around. So it was utilizing some materials that are fairly valuable, but I didn't have enough square footage to do anything else with. So it was actually pretty nice that I was able to use this. And then obviously just bought a couple bar stools that complemented it. So the countertop itself, I paid somebody to produce, mainly because I didn't have the experience at the time of doing anything with deep pour epoxies. So, however, now, after learning a little bit from the project and doing a little bit more with epoxies, I feel confident enough that probably on the next project that I do, I would do it myself in order to add that value. Now, the nice thing about deep pour epoxies is you can be pretty creative with them. So, like this one, for example, has some stones in it. It has the yin and yang symbol. It has some more little stones over here and some fool's gold. So that you can actually be pretty creative with the deep pour epoxies, and it gives a really nice countertop effect in here. So The point of showing this this project is to communicate that there's a few things that you want to take into consideration when you're doing an investment project. You can be very creative with your investment projects, or how they or how you do them, or what you do with them, because there's a million different things that you can do to increase the value of a property. But there's two things that you want to take into consideration and how you implement them. One is it going to increase cash flow? And two, is it going to increase equity? And how do I implement it or produce it in a way that increases one of those two or both? This is John, the Viking investor. I appreciate you all for watching.